Hello. So today's video is just a quick one on some really rapid terrain I've made. Now these bits are from a child's like bubble wand toy. Got it on holiday. My little one eventually broke it, so I decided to strip it for bits. And I'm taking it apart. Part of it was these two halves of a dome which made like a see-through ball. Very similar in style to the exhaust vent that I'd made. So I thought I'd challenge myself and make a couple of quick pieces in the same sort of theme. Start to finish, these took me around about an hour, including painting time. In game wise, they don't really have a purpose. They do something, but nobody seems to know what. They just do, as is the case with technology in the 41st millennium. Unknown purpose aside, they do, however, make good line of sight blocking terrain for a board. So with my little preamble over, here is the very speedy method to my madness. So you can see it's just half of a dome. If I flip it over, there's the screw holes on the inside that held it all together. So what we're going to do is just cover up both the semicircular arches with a mesh. Now this mesh is like a drain gutter guard, stop these getting in your guttering and whatnot. I've had this knocking around for years, and I thought this would be perfect just for giving like a nice little grate to go on the inside. You don't need to be too neat with this. I just tried to get it to the point where there was as many contact points to the ground as possible, just to make it like a good strong grate. It's nice soft plastic, so you can quickly cut through it with a craft knife. And now just glue it on the inside. Simple as that, just for this. Like I said, you don't have to be too neat. It just needs to be hidden away and flush with the bottom of the dome. Here you can see how to make a little modification, just to chop a little bit out, as one of the screw holes was blocking it fitting onto the inside. So I've just cut a little bit away just so it bends round the screw point a bit more. But again, just a liberal coating of super glue just to get that fixed in place. Again, really quick, nothing too complicated. With that little bit of cutaway, it now fits nice and snug on the inside. Just try to get super glue on your fingers and just hold it in place until it sets nice and firm. I'm just going to speed through this next bit. This is me getting it stuck to my fingers and pulling it off. Once I thought I had a good purchase, I've just trimmed off the bottom just to make sure it's in line, and there you go, that's the hole covered up. Now, same thing again, just do it on the other side just to give that nice great effect. Then with the final push, that's it in place. So that's the basic dome done. It was at this point I decided to add a motor to it. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, I tend to have these sort of slow RPM motors lying around. I have a small drawer full, as I use them for many things. I've drilled a little pilot hole in the top just to help with the process. I didn't have a drill bit big enough to fit the thread through, so I started off with a slightly bigger hole, and then I'm going to make the hole bigger just by gently running a craft knife around the inside, just scraping it off to make a bigger hole that the thread will fit through. Patience is key when you're doing this. Do it slowly and you'll get a nice smooth circular hole. Rush it and it'll be jagged and misshapen. So eventually I got it to the point where it's big enough to fit the spindle through. Again, going for speed with this, nothing too flash, just a lot of super glue to hold it in place. Again, keeping up the idea of speed for this, you can see that I've attached a little watch battery holder to it. It's not even soldered on, the wires are pushed in behind the contacts. There's a couple of holes in the plastic casing. Traps it in nice and tight, just put a little bit of tape around to stop the wires being pulled. But that's it. Now it's in the middle, we can now put something on top. So when I was coming up with this part is another piece of the kid's toy, and I just thought some sort of like radio antenna potentially. To give it a little bit of detail, I just got some solder, ironic that I didn't actually use any, and just wrapped it around to give it like the ring effect. And then just really simply dab a super glue and just glued it onto the top of the axle. With that now firmly glued in place, I put a little watch battery in it and just got it going. Really slow RPM, like it is actually looking or listening or searching for something, which I really like. And then just for a little bit of detail, one of the buttons from the kiddie's toy that I disassembled, I just glued on the front just for a little like point of interest. So even with adding the motor into it, this piece really didn't take long at all. It's so simple, in fact, I made a second piece to go with it as well. The second bit already had some pre-drilled holes into it to help connect to the other half. I've just put some plastic card tubing in and just laid it inside to make like an antenna, and put a grate on like I did on the first bit. Literally the LED inside is just the legs of the LED either side of the button cell battery, just laid under the bit. Paint wise, keeping with speed, it's just a rattle can white all over, stippling a Doombull brown everywhere, and then everybody's favourite dirty down wash just to create the rust effects and streaks. And a little bit of a texture brown paint just on the antenna just to give something for the dirty down to grip onto. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the little rapid video I've put together for this. And as always, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.